G'day everyone. Proud to say Bar Karate is brought to you by Radix Nutrition, makers of the most technically comprehensive nutrition products that have ever existed. Unlock your potential with Radix. G'day listeners. Welcome to Bar Karate, the Sailing Podcast. My name's Jordan Spencer and it's that time of the week where we get to hang out with some really cool sailors. But of course, I have to share the mic with my two idiot mates. So first off, let's welcome Mr. Brett Perry.
Greetings, exalted one.
How are you, bud?
Well, it's nearly happy hour.
Oh,
Yeah. The last few weeks, it's 8:30 in the morning now.
Yeah.
The last couple of weeks has been 7 in the morning, so I'm going good.
Yeah, our guest has been nice to you. We went a little later just to make your life a bit easier, but welcome. One thing we haven't heard from for quite a while, Brett, is this.
One thing.
Yeah, one person.
One thing.
He had a voice that could make a wolverine purr.
The strangely absent Mr. Nick Bias.
I was biting my tongue, BP. I could hear the world's smallest violin playing for a minute there.
Well, you know.
Yeah, I've missed some beauties, man. And I missed a cracker last week with Slingers. I think the one before that I missed was Nico. So, all the royalty of Australian yachting. So, apologies for that. You know, kind of had some family duties to take part in just getting back from Mets, which I got to say, if COVID did anything, it taught everyone to actually go to shows and get the Rona. For sure.
Yeah.
Absolute chock-a-block. Like, never seen it. I've probably been 10 times or so and have never seen it busier.
Amazing.
So,
Amazing.
But chockers. And then get this, man. So I arrived back in town straight into my daughter's Year 5 school camp.
Yep.
For a few days.
Yep.
And there was a few parents there and, you know, some of them are like, oh, yeah, did you bring your running gear? And I'm like, oh, yeah, here I am. Haven't run for about 3 hours. Yeah, of course I have. I'll just slide the sneakers on, go for a couple of runs. And on the last morning, I go to get up from the breakfast table. I'm like, oh, shit, I can't walk. So I'm putting on the brave face. Oh, yeah, no, I run all the time, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, when you got sore legs, to try and walk downhill is harder. And the cars and everything, and we're walking our bags down, and I had to make out my shoelace was undone so I could have a bit of a breather in front of everyone.
Oh, age, Bicey. Hey, it's catching you.
Dickhead. Jesus, that'll teach me for peacocking around. So, anyway.
Anyway, there's more to talk about with you, Bice, but we might leave it till after our little chat with our guest because, you know, there's some crazy rumours going around this week about you. And
That was a good one.
We might have to come back to that one because I want to bring our guest in. He's an important man and we really want to utilise his time rather than him sitting there just getting bored. So we're focused on the Hobart. It's a month out. The
great race.
The great race is coming. There's a man who puts an awful lot into his life. So first off, before we actually introduce his sailing, I want to make sure that you understand, for those who love their animals, this man has started a chain of animal hospitals, the Sydney Animal Hospital. He's also on the board, a board member for the Assistance Dogs Australia, which is a charity that helps people that use assistance dogs, which is fantastic. He's also chairman, director and vice commodore or vice commodore of the Cruising Yacht Club of Australia and chairman of their sailing committee. So there's a man that puts an enormous amount back into the sport and loves animals. So I think all our female listeners would be pretty fired up right about now. And I've had to chat to him in the past in the lead up to the Brisbane to Gladstone. And I had a great time. We had an enjoyable conversation. I thought this guy will be great to have on the show. Of course, even more importantly, he is the current holder of the Tattersalls Cup, the number one trophy. He is the winner of the Sydney to Hobart, his team, his boat. And we welcome to Bar Karate Sam Haynes from Celestial. How are you, mate?
Really good. Thanks a lot for that intro. It's very kind of you.
It's a pleasure, mate. It's a pleasure. I always sort of want to give people context of, you know, so they think they know you're more than just a sailor. And, you know, there's the animal thing, you know, it's a sign of a good heart, mate.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Actually, one correction is that I'm not the chairman of the sailing committee. Tom Barker is now.
Oh, okay.
I've managed to move on to member engagement, which is, as I say, one of the most important committees.
That sounds like a job. I'm bringing that into the CYC of South Australia. The member engagement role.
Does that mean you sort of got to wander around the club and on an evening and just sort of sit down at the table and catch up?
Kiss the babies,
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Sam Haynes. Hope you're having a good time.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Enjoy the club.
Actually, I'll tell you, Sam, I was in Sydney for work a few weeks ago. I had a whole bunch of my work colleagues from overseas and Australia there, and they were all trying to work out where to go to dinner. I said, let's just go down the Cruising Yacht Club. You can't go to a yacht club. Of course you can. You'll have a ball. We'll sit on the deck. It'll be wonderful. And they absolutely had a ball. They've just been raving about it ever since. It was just simple, easy, and people just don't go to yacht clubs and understand. And, it's a glamour spot. And, so we got some engaged potential members there for you, bud.
Yeah, well, I would say that a lot of the reason why they had a really nice time and enjoyed themselves down there is probably my input. It's coming through finally. All that hard work.
That's right. Well, and you putting your J70 right next to our table was fantastic. I was able to talk about it in depth, so that was perfect.
Yeah, that wasn't me. That's Matt Van Kreshma did that. But it's good to have a bit of displaying going on.
There you go.
I was going to say, BP, it was probably all that hard work we did all those years ago. Just putting the CYC front bar on the map.
Yeah,
probably maybe not.
Invested in it.
It is a stunning venue. It's a stunning setup that they've got going at the Cruising Yacht Club, and we've done a couple of live shows from there.
Yep.
Which has been awesome. But
it's been a real eye opener, hasn't it, Bicey?
Oh, certainly has. But especially this time of year, pretty much from now onwards. I mean, we've got Cabbage Tree starting next weekend, and then leading into the Maxis, and then leading into the Hobart. It's Activity Central.
Indeed it is.
Which, of course, Sam, you're going to have to be on your best behaviour playing your role.
Yeah, look, the club's going to be firing. It's got the village set up and, the Rolex Village there, and that will be open next week. And, Cabbage Tree, Friday night, 7:00. That'll be a big fleet too, 60-odd boats.
Yeah, cool.
That'll be pretty good. And then, of course, the Maxi Championship. And then not long after that, the Great Race.
The Great Race.
It truly is a spectacle for the international listeners. If there is something on your bucket list you want to check out, Boxing Day, which is obviously the day after Christmas in Australia, is a massive thing. But the lead up is huge. The entire month beforehand is massive. So if you are looking at doing something, get down there and have a look because it's fantastic.
Yeah, Big Boat Day is actually the biggest day of the year at the club. That's like the most people actually access the club that day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's well worth a bit of a plug too. So, the Big Boat is a race on the harbour with only boats. So what is over 60 feet now, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that is televised
quite
as
a few
well.
boats in it this year. But
and what's that, Wednesday the 6th, right? Wednesday? Is it the Wednesday? I think it is. Anyway.
Is it a Wednesday or a Tuesday?
Maybe it's the Tuesday the 5th.
Yeah.
But either way.
And I've got it blocked out of my diary. I'll be out there watching it as a interested spectator.
Love it.
Yeah.
So do we get straight into it, the prep for this year's race?
While
we're on it. Where you're at, obviously current holder of the Tattersalls, obviously want to repeat that this year. Have you? Where's the prep sitting? You've done a few long races this year, and obviously the last month leading in is a big part of it.
Yeah, I didn't do the Blue Water point score as a whole this year. It's the first time I haven't done one for 12 years. I've done the last dozen. And the reason was I was doing some other sailing on the J70, as we mentioned before. And but we did the Brisbane Gladstone and we did the Gold Coast race, and we'll do Cabbage Tree, and then there's a chunk of training, and then straight into the race. So slightly, not dissimilar to last year's prep, but not doing the entire Blue Water point scores the first time for quite a while. a lot of that's driven also because of quite a lot of my crew are international now, sailing overseas. So we wouldn't have had them all together for, Tollgate Island or something like that, or Bird Island race. And we also are doing some work to the boat, which has taken it out of action for a little bit. So Nick, you said you
well aware. Yep.
Yeah, you'd be aware. So we're just dropping the runner position down at 800 from the topmast. That's down just to give us a sort of small step forward for the performance of the rig. And we sail with a fixed forestay. We don't adjust rake. Gives us a bit of a straighter setup. So anyway, that whole process again meant that we couldn't do some of the races. So that's our program as far as actual on water. Training blocks are really important for us. That's sort of 4 days of solid sailing. We've got the crew together, of course. That's pretty much locked down. Well, it's locked down now.
Is the crew fairly? It's a pretty similar crew to last year.
Yeah, it is. Got James Hodgson and Tom Hodjo and Tom Grimes. Tom Grimes has actually done a Hobart with us, but he's coming back.
Good old Grimesy.
Yeah, yeah. He's been doing the J70s with me as well. Both those guys are.
I've just got to tell you, Sam, James Hodgson's my young protege who I've worked with for many years.
Taught him everything he knows.
Right. Okay.
I didn't teach him.
Don't fall asleep when he starts talking to you.
And
sorry, go on.
I was going to say some other crew changes. I was thinking, who else is coming? We've got navigators changed. So we've got Alex Nolan coming this year. Probably know him.
God.
So
the gurus are in.
Yeah, well, he's done quite a few races with us too, but not at Hobart. So look forward to having him on board.
He's a cracker. He's a great.
I actually just ran into Alex last week at Mets, and he was pumped.
Well, what is Mets?
So, Mets.
I should know.
Righto.
So the Marine Equipment and Trade Show in Amsterdam.
Oh, right.
So, yep. So
okay.
It's the biggest.
But you're not invited. You're
biggest
only
trade show in the world for Marine.
Yeah.
It's huge.
You're not invited, Sam. You're only an owner.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't be allowed to go.
No, just jokes. It's massive. It's a really cool thing. If there's one thing you want to do, you get over there and have a look. It's great.
Anyway, so the rest of the crew is pretty stable. We've got Dean Curtis coming as well. That's another gentleman who I've not sailed with, but his reputation is pretty solid, of course. He's been sailing with Fox mainly and TP52.
Yeah.
And he's also, I think he's with the Oracle AC team. In fact, he is with the Oracle AC team. Yeah. So those are some of the new ins.
What's the big loss? Celestial. What's the big loss?
Big loss.
Is Greenhalgh on board?
Oh, yes, that's a big loss.
Yeah.
Rob Greenhalgh.
Yeah.
Sacked him, got rid of that bastard.
We've got Hodjo instead of Greenhalgh.
We say that out of love, of course.
Yeah.
No, we got he's spending time with family this year. He's been overseas a lot. He's done a lot of sailing in Europe, Cape 31s, J70, Moth.
Yep.
I don't know, pretty much everything. Anyway, so he is a big loss, yeah.
Yeah.
But Chapo is going to be the named tactician for the race. Jack McCartney, sailing master. So,
pretty consistent.
Those two guys know what they're doing. Josh Probeski, he'll be driving and trimming.
Can I, just from a human perspective, mate, and you're allowed to get angry with me if you want. Are they all going to have radios in their pockets?
Oh.
Mate.
You know what? I have heard that so often.
Oh, I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
No. And you're allowed to, as I said, you're allowed to get angry. I
don't get angry. I'll have to develop that trait.
Yeah, we might be off the airwaves soon.
Talking of angry, Callum Cecil's on board.
Here we go.
Now we're talking.
Mentioned him earlier.
He's actually he's in the pit, but also
mention.
A bit of boat captaincy and kind of keeping the whole show going. He's really great. Obviously, I've sailed with him for many, many years.
Yeah, he's good. He's good in the middle, and he runs that part of it pretty well. Sounds like you're pretty settled, so that's a good thing. Obviously, this race is it's all about being settled and getting out there. You've had massive amount of success over the last couple of years with the boat. You know, obviously Matt Allen's not going this year. There's a different sort of feel about it. How is it feeling for you personally with the actual whole fleet in a general, as you know, looking at it from more of a club perspective? It's looking like a good race.
Yeah, I think so. As far as internationals are concerned, it's a pity that the Infinity 52 Zeus broke its mast recently, so that's a kind of an interesting boat. But unfortunately, it's not going to be there. Caro's on a ship coming out. They'll be probably the one that the most, we've got the most rivalry within the 52 fleet, in the sense that last year's race, it was so close between us, them, Guelo, and Warrior One. The last two boats I just mentioned, Guelo and Warrior One, are not contesting either. But yeah, the club's got I think the club will be pretty pleased with the lineup that's coming. 100-footers, some of them are, a bit of an uncounted quantity with Warrow and Wild Thing, but there's we've got I think Scallywag revamped is going to be pretty nice. Whether they'll be hitting the water, full pace, because they're really only just getting going now, but they'll be good to see. And then there's plenty of good boats in the 50-foot range, and we've got Alive and boats like that are always Whisper, Moneypenny, and URM. Have been winning a lot of races.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And Alive from Tasmania always goes gangbusters as well.
Yeah. They're one of those boats which sort of like they just shot for this race, really.
Yeah.
They do a great job
and do well.
Do well.
That 60-foot range is an interesting size range, isn't it? It's kind of like either do or die. It's on the edge. You've got the 52s which smash it in in performance and in terms of sailing to the numbers, but the 60s can just get that little window, and that's when they're a huge chance.
Yeah, it always gets to that sort of, as soon as you get down around getting up through Storm Bay and the river, so many things can happen in that little part of the race that, you can be looking good until you turn the corner. If it dies down a bit, or there's a bit of a transition zone in that area, the 60s will be home and we'll be trying to make it.
Is there, obviously, Caro's a bit of a known quantity.
Yeah.
But I mean, and unfortunately, like you say, Zeus isn't going to be there, but that could have been like just add a little bit of nerves to it. It's a bit of an unknown quantity, that one.
Yeah, Zeus. Yeah, I'll be really interested to line up against that one day. I mean, good to see that boat sailing. I just don't know much about it. Suspect that it's probably not ideally suited to the sort of windward leeward type of long offshores that we do here. Because even though we're always driving, we're always trying to get depth, and then we're also attacking, trying to get height, and blast reaching happens, but probably not quite enough.
Yeah.
But we don't take we obviously have a setup for a jib stick, but we don't consider that for the Hobart. Brisbane Gladstone, yes.
Yeah.
Although not this year's one.
For those who don't know, 75th anniversary Brisbane to Gladstone. Brisbane to Gladstone, always downwind, always broad reaching, smoking downwind.
Always.
The brochure.
Always.
Here's the brochure.
Sunny, warm, starboard up to the top of Fraser, drive on the port end of Gladstone, and you're there, beers. Perfect. Not this year. But you won line on us, so it was the worst. The one that
like
you
the
paid.
hardest conditions I've ever been in that race. And I had people on the boat like Alex Goff and Rob Greenhouse and people like that. Frank O'Leary. And, we're looking at those guys were saying it's as bad as it gets.
Henry.
Yeah. Bad as it gets. Oh, it was horrendous.
How about
is Frank on the boat for the Hobart?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, a real motherfucker.
Looking forward to racing with Frank.
Say that to him when you see him. Just go up to him, real motherfucker. When you see him, go up to him and say, BP says, "G'day, real motherfucker."
Okay.
How about new rags, Sam? Is there any kind of thoughts, any involvements, or Any
yeah, so we actually have a new main, which you probably might have remembered our main from the Hobart, and then might have remembered the same main again from Brisbane Gladstone, which we also broke the top batten.
Negative gaff batten.
Yeah.
So we've done that in 2 majors, and we've also, in that Brisbane Gladstone, it must have had like 25 reefing events in it. I don't know how many times we went from 2 to 1 to none to back down. Anyway, that main is available at a really good price for a program that might be looking to invest in some, something for Wednesday afternoon. But we've got a new main coming, and we've also got got 3 jibs. So last time I bought 3 jibs for a Hobart, it was downwind.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping
you've been doing it, hoping that happens again.
Guaranteeing it,
yeah. We've got a reasonable downwind inventory already, so the boat's pretty good for its sails. So I think we're okay in that area. But we've got to tune up for these new sails because we actually haven't even put them up in the air yet.
Right.
But the main should fit the mast. It's North's, Rig Pro, Southern's will all work together to get that designed. So it should hopefully be really quite a good fit between the mast, the boat, and the sails.
Is that my cue?
Yeah.
It's all about it's all about the engine above the deck, Jeff.
Set up.
That's what it's all
about. Sam's going for a discount, I think.
Well, look, we'll see, but I think that the team that have got this together have actually. I mean, I'm probably kind of we haven't actually got the mast and the boat right now, but it's been pretty typical Celestial time frame here. We have not given anyone much time to get all this done, and they are getting it done. So I appreciate the work that's been put in by everyone.
That boat, I feel like that boat's kind of a magic boat. Would you say that, Sam? Like that hull that you've got there?
Yeah, look, when I first got it was very much in its corner. Like it had one trick or one sort of.
Right.
We've done quite a bit of work just to try and make it go upwind better.
Yep.
And then we've changed quite a bit of the deck hardware, the way it's the geometries and so forth, so we can now do the quad heading or the reaching type sailing, which is its best point. But we can set ourselves up with much better angle of trim and things like that. Obviously, we're learning the boat, and then we've. It used to leak so badly, all those boats do, but it's horrible. The first Hobart I did it.
The
I actually had the washboard and was holding it over my head, just because the amount of water coming in, it was just, I don't know. It was better to have the washboard over my head than in the companionway where it wasn't needed. Anyway, but we've moved got rid of a lot of the water ingress and so forth, and we've got the travellers are totally above deck now. We don't use the magic. What do you call it? Can't remember now what we call the traveller thing below deck, but we don't use that now. And
yeah.
Okay.
So
we've set the Hobart on. Remember did the Hobart on Envy scooters, and we had 8 bilge pumps.
Yeah,
and you were one of them.
I was one of them.
Envy scooters a sister ship, as you know, and it's exactly the same problems. Yeah. We've got the boat set up really nicely. It is a good boat. It's got a beautiful mast, the rig and so forth, really good. I mean, touch wood, it doesn't have any damage or anything like that this year because it's easy to damage these type of rigs. But it's a nice boat for all those reasons. And I think it's a little bit better now. We might modify the keel shape, the fin a little bit just to get a bit of upwind and grip. Try to reduce leeway. So hopefully we don't get an upwind race.
Yeah.
But if we do,
you're doing everything to make it a downwind race, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm making the boat perfect upwind.
Yeah.
I love with the intention of a downwind race.
Love it. Hey, I want to ask a question from a race perspective, and I don't know if you'd be allowed to answer this or not, but maybe you can tell us, some of the major, the Hobart's one of the major offshore 600 races, that we've got around the world. You're the Fastnet and the Med and all that sort of stuff, the Middle Sea race. The thing that they all have, they go the multi-holes and all that sort of stuff. Is that ever going to happen with the Hobart, or is it just not? There's no passion for it at the club.
Yeah, look, it's something where the club has definitely very solid on. It's not a multi-hull race for them. It's quite unusual to even hear the concept of multi-hulls joining into our races being discussed. It's really off the agenda. So I think it's something that, I don't think any club could sit there and say, oh, we're not going to do something because we've never done it. I think there would have to be some stage where there is discussion held about, multi-hull or overall length or, we brought in double-handed and that was quite painful. And, you could see how much short-handed racing there is around the world.
Yep.
And, it was really something that was, it was quite a cathartic experience trying to get that through at the CYCA for various reasons. Obviously, a lot of support for it as well. And now 30% of this entry list into this year's Hobart is going to be double-handed boats.
Amazing, isn't it? Like, it's truly amazing.
I reckon you'd have your work cut out as the member liaison officer the day you announce that multi-hulls are joining without and to walk into the club with some of the, call them the stalwarts. Which, you would have, the club, there was plenty of backlash, even the double hand stuff, like you say. But now it makes up a great amount of it. So,
yeah. Anyway, don't look to multi-hulls just yet, but I'm certainly not saying that that's going to ever happen. As far as anything goes with yacht racing, you really have to keep your mind open. Look at the boat behind you there, Jordan. That's where technology leads you to, right?
Yeah. Well, we could
just for it's purely a safety reasons, right, Sam? That's
the multi-hull thing.
Yeah, the multi-hull thing.
Well,
from a potential, just the whole stability side of things and flipping.
I don't know about that because they do race them around the world, right?
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
But there are issues, I guess. But I'm probably not really able to answer that question. I'm not sure exactly why we would hold a position where it's never going to happen because there are multi-hulls also doing other races around the world, which are not the great long TJVs or anything like that, but there are races where multi-hulls always feature in them. But I just think from our point of view at the club right now, it's nowhere near being discussed or even on any agendas.
And with the double-handed thing though, we're a little biased here. Obviously, we're fans of it. To me, it seems to have worked really, really well. There is more risk involved and all the rating element and stuff like that, but double-hander allows people to get back out onto the water. So, I think the club would probably be happy about it.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. It's worked out. It hasn't all been easy because we made mistakes along the way as well in introducing it. And there's things which you don't really think of, as you bring them into your notice of race. There's a few things about how we manage a double-handed fleet. But overall, it's been certainly a very, very popular and well-received addition to our fleet. I think it's and now you've got double-handed in other divisions as well. So there's a few sort of changes. It's evolving.
Yeah. It's interesting because obviously, this year is in France is the double-hander year. Every second year is double-hander, then the other year is the single-hander stuff, and so the TJV is double-handed, and all the racing that we see in France is double-handed, and so all the transatlantics, all that sort of stuff that's going on. So you see really, really well-sailed boats with just two people on them, and big boats. We've got the 100-foot trimarans, we've got the 60s, we've got the 40s, the 50s, everything that are out there. So they're sailed well, and so it's Brett is probably the number one proponent of this sort of stuff in Australia. He's been pushing it for years and years and years. It feels to me like it's definitely here for good with the Hobart.
Yeah, no, I don't see double-handed being, moved out of our major races or in any way out of our club's racing from now. Can't see a reason why.
Until one of them win it.
Well, they could win it, couldn't they?
Yeah, cheating bastards.
Jules
cheating bastards. I'll tell you one thing that's happening, and being over here in Europe at the moment, a really big growth sector in the market is actually like 3 to 4 people.
Yeah.
On these smaller boats. It's everywhere you go at the moment. There is events and regattas around the place that are based around that type of setup, and that's an interesting sort of thing as well, which is going to definitely filter down to Australia. So that's a really interesting thing going on.
Well,
here.
the minimum crew number for us, I think, is it 6
5.
or is it 5?
Oh, 5, yeah.
Yeah, 5, right.
Yeah, right. Interesting, isn't it? But I mean, the goal is to have as many boats racing as possible and get good competitive racing, and so that's what we're all about. Speaking of that, one of the things that you've sort of got into is the J70 stuff. Which you've just done the Worlds. You've been away, did the Worlds. I think you've done a bit of campaigning over in Europe, where I remember in Italy a year or two ago, you got the bronze at a World Cup event there on Garda, I think.
Yeah, well, that was actually that was this year in the Corinthian World Cup.
Oh, yep.
So yeah, we were in third place after Italian team and then a Finnish team.
They finished in front
of
you.
That's a World Cup, not a championship.
No.
They now have introduced a Corinthian World Championship, which will be in Copenhagen, and that's in June.
Yep.
We'll be going to that. And then we're also qualified to sail Corinthian in the Open World Championship, which is in Parma, and that's in September the coming year.
So, but what got you into the J70, Sam?
My neighbour just there. Actually, this is radio, right? So you can't see that. But,
over your right, over Sam's right
over
shoulder.
My right shoulder. My neighbour Tim Ryan. He was changing. He was buying a new J70 and selling his old one. And Rob Greenhouse, who was sailing with me, said, "Oh, you got to buy that J70 and start sailing it. You'll like it." So I did. And it's only a few years ago. Like it's only a couple of years ago that I've been doing it.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I've been sailing J70s in Sydney, and then now the fleet's starting to grow a little bit here in Australia, which has been good.
Yeah,
There's quite a lot of interest right now. There's probably about 23 boats sailed down at Blair Garra in the Victorian national states rather, Victorian states, and there's the New South Wales, and then the nationals are here in sort of mid January.
Yeah.
Which hopefully I don't know if we'll get 20 odd boats, but if we get 20 boats, that'll be good.
Yeah, cool.
And are you enjoying it? Like, has it changed the way you sail? Like, I think Rob had a logic to it. So tell us about that.
I really do enjoy it. I mean, they're an interesting boat to sail, which, one design is quite small, obviously, 7 metre. The planing hull, so you get up and plane in about 14 knots of breeze or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of different ways of sailing them. Quite technical in some ways, but they're a simple boat. A lot of fun to do the regattas where, you get large numbers in the regattas in Europe and America. The Worlds have 85 boats, I think, or 90 boats. 90, I think, and 87 on the start line. We didn't have the best results in St. Petersburg. It was we had a couple of deep numbers that we couldn't shrug off.
No, I saw that.
Yeah. And, but, to be fair, we actually enjoyed it and we had a great regatta. Did a lot of really good sailing. I mean, even when you're not, at the pointy end of the fleet, as far as your results are concerned, you're still battling it out for every place you can. And I sailed in that regatta with James Hodgson, Murray Jones, and Tom Grimes. And we've done a lot of lead-up training and so forth. So, preparing ourselves. Had a really good boat we chartered over there, one of the Gollison brothers' boats. And yeah, when you go to America and sail in the J70, those people are just such great sailors, and they've just been doing it for so long.
Grown up with J in their blood.
Yeah.
All their middle names is Tom J. Jones and Billy J. Frampton. And
do you like the one design element?
Yeah, I do. I really like one design sailing, and I haven't really done much of it in the past. This is sort of my real experience is just recent in this J70 class, really, to be fair. And Yeah, I do. Like, I just love the start and, the boat on boat. And of course, there's so many things going on when you go around any of the corners of the course, or even, when you're flying downwind. I mean, when you say flying downwind, you're probably doing 14 knots, but it feels like you're going pretty fast.
Yeah,
sure.
16 knots or something. It's like, whoa.
Yeah.
But then you've got your jibe and, all those sorts of things. So, yeah, I like the skills and so forth.
That's probably a pretty good segue. How do you go from operating on guinea pigs to becoming a sailor?
Don't operate on a guinea pig is my first.
No, I'm just joking. Just joking.
Yeah, well,
no, my point is, you've come from a bit of a different background. Have you always sailed, or is it something that's relatively new? You said you haven't done much one design sailing. Is it something?
Yeah, I've sailed a lot. My family sailed, but not like competitive, not dinghy club type stuff. I mean, I have sailed a lot of dinghies and stuff like that, but not really anything other than just for fun. Like we'd go and buy. We had a VJ, we had a moth. So I had a moth that I used to sail on the Swan River. And
what'd you have?
But I wasn't sailing it competitively. I was just sailing it for fun.
Was it a scow or a skiff, or like how old?
Scow moth.
The old scows on Swan River off Mounts Bay there?
Yeah, I used to sail. I just got to take it on the roof of my car down to Point Water and find someone to help me get in the water, and off I go.
Yeah, cool. So, very cool.
Yeah. And we had a gaff rig boat as well, and it was during the America's Cup era as well. So I was sailing in Fremantle Sailing Club. So it's a long time ago that I was actually on the water, and there was a bit of a break, and then I was cruising, and had a Cavalier 35 that I was cruising, and then I thought I'll do a Pittwater Coffs maybe. So I did that, and then I started doing some motion racing. Gradually moved through to
do an offshore colander.
Well, yeah. What's the thing that you love most about it? Or like, why have you chose it as your passion?
Well, there's quite a few things that I like about it. I mean, I do like the technicality of sailing. Like, I quite enjoy learning and getting, improving skill. I like the investment in the boat where you can, put money into safe sails or rig or boats themselves, modification. I just always like those projects, so they kind of excite me. That's one side of it. I like working with people like the crew. 15 people on a TP52 or 4 people on a J70. Enjoy all that. I'm a competitive person, so I'm probably results focused to some degree, but I also like being able to know that we have sailed well, or we've done a really good job of putting our best foot forward in whatever regatta or race we're doing. Obviously, you get a lot of heartache and disappointment in sailing as well. Like, things go wrong. I mean, not just even talking about sort of like some of the big sort of things that you probably thinking of, but you can have injury, or you can have like a bad decision, or you can have something break on the boat that puts you out of the race or something like that. So you have to kind of be able to have quite a lot of resilience. And then so those are some of the reasons I really like it. I mean, I do like the whole power of a boat like a TP52. You can see the photos from last year's Hobart when the thing's lit and we're out there in the sea with the loom of Tasman Island and 3 other boats around you. Yeah. It's pretty amazing to be able to have those experiences, and you don't get them. I like that kind of out there experience. It's something that I've been lucky enough to be able to have.
Little element of adventure still there, which is good.
Yeah.
How about so that's the on-water bit. You've put quite a bit of time into the off-water side as well, specifically with the CYCA.
Yeah.
Has that always been something that you kind of did that, just you stumble across that, or you've always, no matter what you've done, kind of helped with the admin side of things?
Yeah, so with the club, that was, like you say, stumble almost. Like, Donald Graham said to me one day, "Oh, look, they're looking for someone to go on the board. I thought you'd be a good person to go on to the board and volunteer." No ambition to move up through the ranks or anything like that. Just said, okay, yeah, well, and I was interested also in the idea of getting some experience in that kind of, corporate, I suppose, or, professional board or semi-professional board like that. It was all new to me. So I just came through, from that point of view. And then I've been there for now quite a while and moved through various different Commodores and so forth. And you end up just moving up through the ranking, I suppose, naturally. And I've got something to contribute as well through the experience of sailing on. It's really important for the CYCA to have a boat owner and someone that's sailing in the races that we put on. And so I fit that kind of bill.
Jordan's always aspired to be in the whites, but there's a couple.
We don't have whites at the CY, just so you know. We are not we don't have brocade. Yeah. Do you have that, Vicey?
Yeah.
Have you seen the photos, Sam?
No,
I joke about my whites, but it is obviously quite historical in that sense. And it's not as though we actually wear them that often. In saying that, they get dry clean once a year, ready to go for opening day season.
Yeah.
But yes, we do.
Well, I came from Fremantle Sailing Club, and that was, they have whites, and obviously up in Queensland they take it like that. It's good to see. I've got nothing against it, but we're not those guys at the CY. You have to wear thongs in the downstairs, and you have to wear closed shoes in the members' bar. But apart from that, you're pretty okay.
Yeah, that's just a major. Let's move that on.
I think Brighton Seacliff, my old stomping ground, you had to wear pants at some stage during the afternoon. That was
pants in general, or
at some stage,
generally on your head.
So from the perspective, the reason I sort of bought the J70 is I feel like it's sort of that bit of cross training or doing something different sort of reinvigorates the passion. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, it's a good point, Jake. Good point.
Yeah, it did. I mean, it has, and it does. Gives me a whole lot of sailing that I can do as well in sort of other parts of the world, so I can experience, perhaps sailing in America or Europe.
Yeah.
But I think that it's such a great way to, sharpen a little bit of your skill. You start to, more immediate with the trim or it's particularly the steering of the thing. Of course, to get more accurate, I suppose. And then lots of things to do with just the rules around the racetrack, constantly, needing to know exactly what you're allowed to do and what's going on. So, yeah, I think it's definitely given me a bit of a, stimulates me to keep going.
I've got an interesting one, is that I think he's the chairman of another chain of animal hospitals, Sydney-based gentleman, who also spends most of his time travelling around the world sailing in the 50 fleet. Are you familiar with the man I'm talking about?
Quirky.
Yeah, Mr. Quirk.
Michael Quirk.
One of my favourite human beings in the whole world.
Really? Michael Quirk?
Oh, yeah.
Your favourite human being?
Oh, I love him. I love him.
He's a bit obscure, this gentleman.
No, I like Quirky too, but he's actually not really in the animal business anymore. He sold up.
He did,
he was smart.
Yeah, he's smart. Yeah. No, I was just going to say...
Hey, Quirky, if you're out there, phone me.
I was just wondering if there's a correlation with animal hospitals and sailing. I was just trying to...
There are quite a few sailing vets, but they sort of tend to be more kind of sailing Beneteau type stuff and so forth. Yeah. Not. They're not sort of really kind of Grand Prix type sailing.
Yeah.
So you don't see them much around.
No.
I was going to ask.
Yeah, he's 505.
Yep.
I was going to ask him. Certainly in recent years, you've done quite a bit of travelling. Have you got a favourite place to sail?
Well, I thought that Lake Garda would be one of those favourite places, but I didn't realise we were driving every day in and dropping people off at the hotel because, it's got one of those sort of the hotel's like not near an actual street.
Mm-hmm.
And there must have been some camera that picked the hire car up every time we went in. And it's taken until now to get all these fines. So, and plus the admin fee from the fine, plus the admin fee from the the rental car
costs more than the regatta.
That's a little trick there, not to drive into the the paved area of Lake Garda, River de Garda.
Pretty standard
across the plaza.
Yeah,
across the plaza next to the fountain.
Sorry, go on, BP.
No,
I said across the plaza next to the fountain.
Yeah, I think that's where we were dropping. Chapo was driving the car because he was.
Oh, that explains it.
Yeah. That explains it. Anyway,
chuck the fines on him.
I love going to that town, but the race course there is a bit
one-sided.
strange. You know, like it's not it's a great place to sail, but not a great place to race, I suppose, is one way of putting it. St. Petersburg was really good. That was fantastic.
Okay.
Really enjoyed that.
For the listeners, St. Petersburg in
Florida.
In Florida, not in Russia. Just to clarify that. So yeah, so that was. It looked like it was
team that went there. Wonder if that team that went there, got themselves sorted out.
Yeah, that was those 390 entered, but only 87 sailed. Yeah. The other 3 went to Russia.
Went to the wrong spot.
Where is everyone?
So it looked like like you got glamour conditions for that world. So, it looked like it was pretty bloody nice.
Yeah, it was literally a week where there was a front blew down from the north and kept the pressure there for the whole week. And I think if we sailed, like if it was a week later, pretty sure there was hardly any breeze. So, we did get lucky. Yeah, which is, quite a few recent J70 regattas have had very little breeze. It's just been, unfortunate that, they've just picked the wrong week somehow.
It's never like this normally. That's we all know that.
Never like this normally. Like that Monaco one where we got zero breeze was probably always going to be like that.
Yeah.
Even though they said like never like this normally, but that was
just ask the last Moth Worlds. That they had it perfect.
We're talking Rob Greenhouse. He was at the Moths Worlds and didn't get much sailing in
at all. No. Now, one of the things that we should mention, speaking of the great Rob Greenhouse, who we all love and have immense amount of respect for, obviously going to Hobart without Rob on the boat, a lot less things are going to be broken. So,
Good thing when something breaks on the boat with Rob, he just says, I wouldn't worry about it.
He's used to breaking things. Yeah.
And I sailed halfway around the Southern Ocean with that. Don't worry. So
he's learned how to cover himself up very well, Sam.
He's going to be a big loss for us, but
absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway.
So with your sailing, mate, are you still long term? Is there an updated boat going to come? Like, have you got any plans that you'd reveal at all, or are you starting to think more about going cruising? Like, does any of that or the J70 you're just going to travel the world? Like, what's the plans for you?
Well, I don't know really. I mean, it is hard always before a regatta to say what you can do after the regatta because things can go down that put you out of make you change your mind or something. But I don't envisage selling the TP52 and probably continuing with it for a while. Certainly haven't got any other plans for any bigger boats or any other boats or different TP52s or anything like that. Can't really see myself doing anything other than using this particular one for a bit longer. And then, the J70, I'll be sailing that for the Corinthian World Championship and then the Opens as a Corinthian team. And there's a couple of lead ups, so there'll be something over in Europe that I'll do as well on the J70. And then there's, I just don't know if I can go offshore for the length of time, but things like Noumea could be good on this boat. So, or maybe Brisbane Gladstone. That it cannot be upwind again, right?
that downwind race.
It's never normally like this.
Race. I'm willing to guarantee it won't be.
It's never like this.
It was insane. What about, with the J70 stuff, one of the great things about doing regattas on small boats is you end up making really good friends, like from people from around the world, like, because by nature of you're racing next to each other the whole time or you're moored next to each other, that's part of the experience of doing this sort of stuff and traveling around the world. Is that something you've been enjoying?
Yeah, you sort of end up having drinks with the Polish guys or something like that.
Yeah.
And you see them at the next regatta, and there's a few sort of teams like that you kind of, and then sometimes it's because there's a boat-on-boat infringement type thing, and you've got the flag out, and then you go meet on the dock afterwards to sort of talk it through, and before you know it, you're kind of like, okay, yeah, well, we're not going to go to the room, but how about a drink?
Yeah.
So, there's that sort of camaraderie as well, particularly where we are in the fleet. Like we're not sort of not the hot shots or anything like that, where we're trying to get the best result for our owner or something. We're just there to enjoy the sailing anyway. So we're there to also meet up with people. But we take it seriously too. Like, we're not really out there at night, partying or anything. It's just really, the occasional.
Yeah.
But I do, like when they give you the feedback from the J70s, one of the first questions I'll ask in their survey is, what did you think of the venue, and did you enjoy the location of the regatta, and how good was the hotel room? They put them on in nice places.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What if you were trying to change the sport to make it more appealing? Given all your administration element and the sailing you do, is there anything you think that the sport should be doing slightly differently that could make it more appealing or keep people involved?
Yeah, well, that's a question without notice.
Yeah, sorry.
Bloody good one.
Bloody good one. We do try and think of things to try and make our regattas more popular all the time. I mean, that's definitely there. You're looking at ease of entry, cost, things like that. Particularly some of the racing we're doing, where we're looking at not the big sort of blue water type racing, but things like your SOPS races or OPS races, like some of the smaller type events on weekends and so forth, which, I think the days of having sailing, which takes up the entire day, early to late, maybe for time on the water is, it's getting harder to get entries. So thinking around those sorts of things. There's a J70 regatta being held by the squadron soon, and it's all going to be a twilight type regatta, which is, makes it a lot easier for everyone to go and do that.
Yep.
So there's things like that. Is that the kind of stuff, I guess, that I'm thinking about? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that one of the things you just said there about that time where it's chewing up the whole day, you just can't do that anymore. People, it's a shame. People are super busy, but the camaraderie,
and also the age group that can afford, that want to go sailing, they need to, they've also got so many other commitments.
Yeah. They might have to put their kids might be sailing, or their kids might be doing basketball or whatever it is.
Might have to send their dog to a hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've probably got to take the dog to the vet.
Got no money left.
Just routine stuff, though, nothing bad.
Yeah, no, of course.
So that element. But I think the other thing is that the element of camaraderie, that friendship, somehow you have to develop that friendship and keep that going, because that's what sailing's strength is. Like the one thing I think of over my long career is that if I'm going to another country, normally we'll know somebody in that country you can pick up the phone to and have a chat, and you'll go for a beer or stay at their house. Sailing allows you to travel the world with friends, and I think that's one element that people miss out who don't go and do some of the international stuff.
Yeah. No, it's certainly fantastic to be able to go and travel with, traveling with the young guys that I've been traveling with for this, Tom and Murray and Hodjo over in America, just for instance, just a lot of fun, just another kind of way of doing things, and I enjoyed it a lot because of that. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, they're good blokes too, obviously.
And you talk about camaraderie, like it's just looking at the cabbage tree, we've got a couple of people coming onto that for us because some people can't race, and one of the guys, Johnny Warren from Norths, he's coming out, and I just suddenly made me say, oh yeah, you know what, I'm actually looking forward to this race a hell of a lot more, just to go sailing with Johnny again. And just as it sort of speaks to what you're saying, is that you really look forward to sailing with particular individuals that you enjoy their company.
Have you ever had a random just come on the boat, so someone that you haven't met before and they've just blown your way, where you've just gone, wow, how good is this person? Is that like you've ever had that sort of experience?
Oh yeah, definitely. People that I don't know have been invited to come out, and they're probably really good sailors and stuff like that. I just personally didn't know them or whatever, but yeah, there's definitely people that have shown up and just done a great job as well, that we've haven't really been a regular person, but we just know that they're Nick Davis is sort of that sort of a guy, or Alice when she came and navigated for Brisbane Gladstone, was someone that's not a regular on the boat but just did a fantastic job.
Yeah, that's cool. Very cool. Cool. All right, I think we're sort of near the end of our time, my friend. we really appreciate you taking the time. We do watch with interest how it's going to go. The TP battle is immensely intense, and the battle for the Tattersalls. I mean, it must be a moment of real pride having that. I mean, after the things that you've been through to get it, to have that and your hands on that trophy, it must feel very, very good for you.
Yeah, it's been fantastic, really, that we managed to, pull ourselves back into the competition and go again. And
absolutely,
and then,
huge hats off to you on that one.
Yeah.
Mm. All right. Well, we'll watch with interest, Sam. Obviously, the boys at Barkarati, we do a little bit of coverage every day, predicting the race, and we're pretty much BP is the savant.
I got you last year. I nailed it again.
Yep.
Okay, BP.
BP's
I actually nailed it the year before as well. But.
Yeah. He has been the man. We call him the savant, the Hobart savant. So if you're ever wondering how you're going to go, just before you take off, just ring up BP and he'll tell you. So,
okay, well, should
like
I bother?
A form guide. Like a form guide, Sam.
Should we be on board?
It should be all good, mate. But yeah, best of luck with it. Hope you.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, get a good time and appreciate you chatting to us.
No, absolutely, Sam. And hopefully I'll make it up there at some point. You might recognise me. I'll be wearing my white.
Yeah, with pants.
With pants.
I just so want it. I so want you to do that, Vicey. I'm serious.
I know you do. Best of luck, Sam, and to the rest of your team.
Cheers. Thanks.
Good on you, mate. Well done. To win that race once is a massive effort. That Sydney to Hobart. It's not something that comes around after what happened the year before, obviously, but to come back last year, a true sign of this guy.
With the caliber on the start line, on the in the race as well.
Yeah.
I mean, the Warrior
absolutely.
Ones,
it's nothing but respect for Sam. He's always been approachable. He's always been a good guy at the club. I mean, and one of the things is, like I said to you, that resilience to push all that aside and to come out and back up. I mean, back-to-back winners. I mean, it's hard to do.
It is hard to do. It's done well. So, fantastic performance. Speaking of fantastic performances, there's some scary rumours flying around this week, Mr. Nick Bice. It looked like it seems that your daughter got a hand on your Facebook profile and changed the picture to you holding a hand, beautiful Charlotte, and then your sister made a comment that just everyone thought that you were
had another one
on the way.
Well, I tell you what, that would have had to have been a fantastic performance.
Well,
because if he's getting out of that thing, we'll call him Houdini, my friend.
My wife said, "Is Bicey are they going again for number 4?" And I said, "Well, that's pretty impressive because he's had the snip." And I was thinking, could it have been the Radix nutrition because you've been consuming the Radix?
Oh, of course.
It's good health through the Radix. Everything's just going stronger and stronger. And I was just wondering, with that extra high protein, the fibre, the no added sugar, 30 plus vitamins and minerals, could it have been the Radix nutrition that is
high performance?
It was basically putting flippers on the swimmers. Let's admit it, right?
Flippers on the
swimmers. Radix nutrition, ultra high performance.
See, there's little flippers with the Radix written on them. Sponsored by.
I'll tell you what. If it was all a rumor.
That did set off a what do you call it? A series of events.
Yes.
But as it turns out, that particular photo taken at myself and Felicity's wedding with Charlotte, 1-year-old, she puts that up there. But the comment was actually from like 10 years ago.
Okay. Okay.
When Rachel commented on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was good fun walking in the schoolyard after Charlotte had done that. And everyone's like, what? I saw it on the book. Must be true. Saw it on the book.
Yeah. It's all true on the book.
It was hilarious. But I mean, I thought, wow, this is amazing. But as I said to Jack, I told her it can't be possible. But you never know with the Radix Nutrition, you know.
That's right.
It's packed. It is the way. So remember, if you do want to load up with the Hobart coming up, you want to get onto your nutrition load pretty soon. So the Radix Nutrition, if you go to the website, Radix Nutrition, type in the code word Bar Karate, one word, BARKARATE, and you will get a discount on us. And then guaranteed you'll get the reverse curse and away for the win.
You'll probably win.
Probably win.
Yeah,
probably
you're
win.
welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you very much. Cool. Other events that are coming up, I do want to mention in New Zealand, the Sir Peter Blake Regatta, 2 to 3 December in Torbay Sailing Club in New Zealand.
Everyone wearing their red socks, please.
Yep. So that'll be a big one. Another one of interest that I spotted is the African qualifier for the 24 Olympic. The African. I was trying to come up with a Canadian one, but I can't do it. So African qualifier for the 24 Olympic. In Soma Bay in Egypt. So 1 through 9 December. Good luck to all those competitors.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
We do have a few listeners in Egypt. I checked the stats the other day.
A couple in Kenya too.
We're massive in Kenya. I don't know what's going on in Kenya.
Huge.
Definitely Emirates flights fly over there because it might be just tapping in, downloading an episode while you're in the air.
It could be. Well, I'll be on the Emirates soon, so I'll have to download a couple of hundred while we're doing that. We got some good messages actually this week. But so they're the events coming up. But for the Jack Lloyd Listener of the Week, presented by our friends at Vice Commodore, who do some amazing technical sailing gear, especially if you're looking for a quick release harness or hiking pants, check out those new super duper things. There's been so much banter this week, boys.
Good banter.
Good banter.
Yep.
We had, Nick, you probably don't know this. We interviewed World Sailor of the Year for the third time, Mr. Tom Slingsby, last week, because you bailed on us. You know.
Yeah, right.
The ice boat banter from that conversation where Tommy
has sparked it again.
It's gone nuts. So I think we got Kimo Viljama sent us an email offering a boat.
We are definitely going to do that.
Oh, they did put a video up, the IDNIYRA, which I think is the International DN Yacht Racing Association. They put a whole video up with an invitation to Tom on Instagram, which I thought was brilliant. Brett Halsey, he came through offering a boat to go and do it. Deb Whitehorse, she put basically. The DN sailors of the world, the ice boat sailors of the world came out strong. So all across the globe, they were coming and they're very quite keen to have Tom. And he responded and said, yes, he's very keen as soon as he can find some time. I think Brett Halsey offered him one for the race this weekend, and I did send Brett a little note saying he may be skippering American Magic in Jeddah in the America's Cup, but nice offer. But I thought that was pretty cool. The other one that was really good, BP, you jumped onto this like a fat kid on a chocolate cake, mate.
Oh, mate. By the time Jordan got his thumbs out, ready to type a response back, boom, BP's in.
It was pretty good. Scott Bailey. Was it Scott Bailey? I think Scott Bailey did
better than windsurfer.
About LT? The windsurfer. I'm just trying to find it. I thought it was.
Hey, my Instagram. I've just lost.
Well, it came through on an. Yeah, it came through on Messenger, wasn't it?
Yeah, might have been.
I think it was on email on the website.
Oh, either or though.
Anyway,
this windsurfing
was on the Skype.
Yeah, Skype. This windsurfing world is it's just itching away at me. I've just got to go there and just have a go.
Well, the reason I wanted to bring it up, because it was lovely. So the scenario is that Scott has a windsurfer LT over in Western Australia, loves the show, and he's a big fan, and he's offered you...
he's offered us.
Offered
any of us.
The access to a board. So it was all good to go. And BP was onto it, as I said, like a fat kid onto a chocolate cake. But the other thing he mentioned, and I'm madly trying to find it.
We don't judge, though.
Yeah, we don't judge. Madly trying to find it is that he also asked us to mention the Nia and Connor, the 470 crew over there that are trying out for the Olympics. He's heavily involved in helping them fundraise to get their funds together. So if you do want to try and support that team, that mixed 470 team going for the Olympics, and they're looking pretty much the number one team for Australia. There's a little bit more fundraising that they're chasing, and he's put his hand up for that. And so if you want to reach out or send us a message, or we'll share that so that you get that. I'll look for it whilst we're going, so I can actually find the actual details, because
it's probably the easiest way. Just PM us and we can direct it.
Yep.
Through all the thousands of emails we get each week, and the girls out the back are just unbelievably inundated with what's going
on. So the other one is Dave Harris.
We don't profile as well, so that's good.
Dave Harris, who sent a photo of a spinnaker of a boat they bought. They family boat, and on the head of the spinnaker.
It's very cool. This one, I like this one. This actually rung a tone for me. But go on.
You tell it, BP.
Well, no, you tell it, because you keep going, because it's a good story.
Yeah. So basically, he sent the photo from and written on the head of the spinnaker was. If you don't put this up correctly, you're not allowed any rum at the end of the race. So basically, make sure if this doesn't go anywhere but up, instead of going on side on. And I thought that was there's a threat on the spinnaker, which I thought.
And that's actually written on the head of the sail. So he's obviously, or someone in the past has had an issue with the old sideways set,
which I love. Yeah. So that's cool.
Nothing better than a good sideways set, I say.
Love a sideways set.
Dear. And then Scotty Patton, I put the photo up on our Facebook page for everyone.
Oh, Mr. OCD.
Yeah, Mr. OCD, which it's the most 3 different 350 horsepower outboards on the back of the boat. Yeah, that was just insane.
What's going on there? What is going on
there? Here we go. I found the thing from Scott Bailey. So
all that.
Yeah, so Nia and Connor, who are lining up for the 470 para slot, Flick and myself have been running the funding and recently opened up to allow others to get involved through the AS, so Australian Sailing, as in hitting up my mates. We're at 70,000 with 100,000 budget. Any chance of a plug? So reach out to us if you want to get in touch with Scotty. If you want to help out Nia and Connor, then let us know. But
Port Australian Sailing, let's go.
Yeah, straight to Australian Sailing, exactly that. If you want to get behind that. So Scotty, obviously, really decent human being. So for me, I mean, I love Scott Patton and Dave and all the ice boating stuff. But the people that just give, always
the ice boating. It has me thinking. Yeah, does Patrick at Vicobi do some nice down jackets?
He does.
He certainly does. So you never know. There's a couple of contenders there for Listener of the Month. So stand by.
Stand by.
It's going to be tough. Stand by. It's going to be tough. This is going to be tough this week. Ole, ole,
ole, ole. It's hot time with Vice.
Rightio, boys. It's all about the acronyms this week. You're going to have to fill in the gaps because I've been away with the fairies. But what have we got? The SSL, TJV, the RCs, the ACs, and the Sail GPs. So that's where we're at. That's what yachting has turned into. A fucking acronym.
Throw in the odd X2.
Exactly. No numerals allowed.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Black sheep amongst the
So where should we start, gents?
Can we pick any one of those acronyms?
Yep, pick it.
SSL.
Okay.
SSL Gold
Yeah, so they're
wear knee-high socks.
They start on Monday with the quarterfinals. So they're down. They've worked all their way right down, and they've got in the quarterfinals. There'll be eight teams that are qualified all the way already to the quarterfinals, and Australia's one of those, and a few of the really top teams. But so that starts tomorrow. So we've been watching it with interest. The standouts for me, one has been Tahiti. Tahiti, unfortunately, have just got knocked out, but they have been unreal. Like it was just blowing my mind how well they're doing. Another nation that's just been doing fantastic is Chile. The little Chileans and our mates from Portugal, the old Portugueses. Given that they're good sailors. Obviously, since BP's moved to Portugal for a bit,
there's a lot of that.
It's rubbing off.
Standards going up. You've reverse cursed Portugal, BP.
I have, mate. It's an aura. It's now going to the countries.
Yeah, but basically, So there's still, I think, 16 teams now. So 8 made it through, and then 8 that had already pre-qualified. And so there'll be 4 fleets, and it all kicks off again from tomorrow. They're in the Canaries, doing all their yachting, and it's good, tight, close racing. 4 boats fitting on a start line designed for 3. It's been good. It's been good. I mean, the coverage is a little difficult. There's a lot of that sort of virtual stuff and a bit of it on the boats, not many images from off the boat, so I found it a bit difficult. But I've been watching it and I've been interested. And, I don't like the correlation where everything's about the Football World Cup, like they're trying to say it's the same thing. It's exactly the same. They're trying to say the model of the World Cup, but yeah.
Well, as I said, you have to wear knee-high socks.
Yeah, they do.
Knee-high socks.
Yeah, knee-high.
It's pretty clear, though. The winner here is the gold vinyl supplier.
Oh,
gold vinyl on the boat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sleek.
It looks good, though, doesn't it?
It does.
I like it.
It looks cool.
I like it. I'm thinking of doing the van in the gold vinyl.
Oh. Do me a favour. Can you do the hubcaps?
You'll be allowed to drive around schoolyards then. Not allowed in your
Can you do me a favour and do the hubcaps as well?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
All right. TJV, gents.
Yeah. Move on.
Moving on. TJV.
What?
We have in the class 40s.
What an ending!
There's probably 6 or 8 left on the racetrack, and which. After what are they now? They're sitting about 20 odd days, I guess.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so she's a fair old clip going on out there. And talk to us about the ending, BP.
Well, there was a split fleet. I haven't got the actual, the final names here, but it was so cool coming into the last day because there was guys from the north,
you had
guys
the
from
north,
the south,
and then one lonesome dude. Through the middle.
And then you had the one bloke just following the run line, moseying down the centre. It was cool. And, it was definitely exciting to watch. But in the end, the South seemed to have prevailed. So,
Allegrande, Pirelli, Ambrogio.
Pirelli got up.
Yep.
Which I actually met Eddie, ex-Persico, set up his own yard in Genoa, who built that boat. So he was bragging.
Of course he was.
But no, well done to those guys. And then Amaris in second and Ibsa in third. So
then I mean, I think we all agree that the Class 40s just looked unreal. Like the footage we got of the Class 40s looks unreal. We've been getting lots and lots of sort of messages. We're getting a lot of videos off the boats, and so particularly the ladies on the NGDFDS Brittany ferries, Pam Lee and Tiffany.
Yes, are you on the WhatsApp group?
Yeah. Are you not?
Yeah, I'm on the WhatsApp group.
We're on the WhatsApp group, getting all the videos, and
absolutely.
They're having they're blowing up sales left, right, and centre. They're making it difficult on themselves, but we've been getting some great footage off the boats, and my French has come a long way in a short time.
Where?
But yeah,
we should actually do next week in French.
Why not?
Given the
Why not?
advancement that you've had.
We're definitely that far advanced.
Might
as well. And why don't we just slap on a Portuguese the week after?
Okay,
cool.
So IMOCA World, gents. I guess you spoke about that last week, but just a reminder for the listeners, for people, was first across the line for Kia and For the Planet second, and then For the Planet in third. So
yeah, another
split. Of, well-known names there with Charol in fourth.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think there's still one boat out there.
One boat left. They've got 800 miles to go at time, 850 at time of recording. So, well done to those for just keeping at it. And then they start the Retour base.
Yeah.
I believe next weekend.
That's it.
So a week or so.
Big.
So good on them. Ocean 50s, again, you probably covered it last week or you didn't leave it up to me. Solidarities und Peloton, first. Realities, second. Viabilis Oceans, third. And a little, actually, just back to the IMOCA, a shout out to our mate Phil, who was making his way across the Atlantic on the slab. They bloody snapped his bowsprit off.
Yep.
No. Had to turn around. Yep. So
that changes everything for him.
Severe consequences in regards to qualifying for the next one, for the Vendée.
Yeah.
So to tell you the truth, I don't know the rules and how it works, but it's going to be tricky. If at all possible.
Yeah, he won't be doing the Retour, which means that it is going to be difficult to qualify. He still wants to qualify for the Vendée, so but I think he might refocus on the ocean race. He's actually put a little note up talking about that.
Correct.
So,
on the ocean race,
which is cool. But yeah, we were looking forward to cheering the slab as hard as we could go. The hydrogen-powered vessel, the Oceans Lab, if you're looking it up, Oceans Lab, and of course, it's a bit of a show. But Phil Sharp, who was on the show, and I can't remember off the top of my head what episode, caught me out. But
I think 228 from memory.
Yeah, I think.
Well done.
I think you're starting to fade, Jay.
The COVID, mate.
I think I could be talking shit. All right. Old teams, we've spoken about them, but just a reminder.
You know we don't listen to that.
SVR and our mate Charles on Gitana coming up third. So well done to all of them, guys and girls out on the water. Good luck on the way home. I know some of the old teams are already back home in France. So I
just remembered it was episode 202.
Keeping in mind, of course, the old teams will be heading off in the new year for their solo race around the world, 7th or 8th of January.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. So we'll be keeping a close eye on that.
Yeah.
All right. Next on the acronym world, RC44s currently racing, got 1 day left at time of recording, time of listening. Yeah, about the same. Sarif is currently top of the leaderboard at the moment with a 41 points. Charisma second, third, Alif. Charisma and Sarif are close. Alif a couple more behind, but let's say we got 3 more races left to go.
Charisma, Alif,
Karif. And then, of course, you've got the Peninsula racing. Anyway.
Very well done.
What have I left off? Oh, the AC40s
ACs
are kicking off next weekend.
Yep.
In Jeddah.
Jeddah, yes.
And then the weekend after, the Sail GP is in Doubs.
In the Doubs.
Dubai.
Dubai.
It was actually Dubai last year. The finish line, the bottom marks was so close to the spectator area. It was, it was ridiculous. Like the flybys, it was really good spectating. It was really good.
Oh, they do say possibly one of the best locations.
The venue,
viewing.
It was just unreal.
A little bit of breeze. It's actually lovely. I like this time of year there. It's nice.
I mentioned I was standing next to a bloke that was the head of a TV. He ran a whole TV studio company, or there was a whole bunch of TV stations that he ran. And I was standing next to him, and he was asking me questions, and he just said, "Is it always like this?" And I said, "Yeah, pretty much. It's
every day,
pretty much. You go down to your local yacht club. This is normal.
This is what it's like.
Yeah, just normal day. Normal day.
It was blown away. Yeah.
The last thing I've got to throw in here, obviously that was just a little heads up on what's coming up, and Jordan Spencer, you'll be able to update us on a lot of those things over the coming weeks. But what I wanted to say, gents, because you're a bit of an expert in this sort of stuff. What I wanted to speak about, we saw some news during the week that Sail GP Auckland, is it cancelled, or am I imagining it? Is it cancelled? Is the Sail GP going to New Zealand? That is the question.
I don't know.
It was a very broad article, wasn't it? They sort of talked about the location, and then they started talking about Auckland Harbour and promoting it and this and that. So I don't know.
So, or is it still up for discussion?
So the way I think it was a 4-year deal, Sail GP going to New Zealand, and it was to be Christchurch, Auckland. As part of the Auckland event, they wanted access to that, what's the headland there called? The grassy area, mental blank. But that was sort of ruled out. So the location and venue, and they can't come to heads of agreement. So it looks like it's not going to be happening in Auckland. Obviously, nothing's been announced, and they certainly haven't told me. But surely it'll be in Christchurch. It's still.
So it was all to do with spectator viewing.
I think so. Yeah.
I'm just reading on their website at the moment that and it's very broad. Just everywhere has a destination, and it just says New Zealand.
Well, let me put it this way: I've been booked to be in New Zealand. Okay.
Oh, cheer, bro.
Well done.
Yeah. So
well done, Cuzzy.
Yeah. So
get a bit parched over there, Cuzzy, bro.
I was expecting I'd be a cheap hire because I could stay at the in-laws in Auckland and big grand old fun. But as I understand it, I don't know where it's going to be, but look, you've got to assume they'll just shove it down Christchurch, which was just fantastic last year. Like, it was just unreal. So, a little bit of logistics requirement. It could be difficult for the poor logistics team that are roaming everything around, but
Lake Taupo, mate. That's where it should be.
Taupo.
Yeah. Down the lake.
Auckland would be good, though. I mean, it's a great place to go.
It is hard to imagine such a prestigious part of Sail GP being in New Zealand, not going to Auckland.
Yeah, it is hard. I don't get it, but again, I don't want to put anything.
Hobson's Wharf, does that ring a bell? Anyway.
The other thing,
leave it with me. I'll do a bit of digging. How's that sound?
Yeah,
dig away, soldier.
The other thing is, of course, after Dubai, Sail GP is going to Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, so mid-Jan, so they'll be in Abu Dhabi. And of course, what was announced this week is that for those of us who are mad, passionate surfers and love their surfing, always wanted to go and surf at the Kelly Slater wave pool in California in the farm there. And, it's like $500 away or something. Abu Dhabi have just opened their own version, a much bigger, better version of the Kelly Slater wave pool.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Fred Flintstone might be there.
Yeah.
Abu Dhabi do.
All I'm saying is if Sail GP were expecting me not to go surfing.
You might get... Do they listen to this, by the way?
We'll see. I'm sure it'll get there, but there's just no chance that I will not be at that wave pool. There is zero chance that
Jordan Spencer, RDO.
Yeah, I'd like to hand over to Jordan. Jordan.
You there, Jordan?
But anyway,
Jordan, you there?
It'll be great. We've spent a bit of time
over the guy with the flare pants and the big head.
Abu Dhabi will be great as well. Like, it's great. It'll be great fun. So it'll be a ton of fun. And then of course, we roll into Australia, New Zealand, and it just continues on. So the circus continues.
Australia, bro.
Does.
Choice, bro.
Does. Very good.
Good.
Anything else? Are we done?
No.
Yeah, we're done.
Nailed it.
Off.
Well, it's good one. Good to have you back, Mr. Bice. Good one to see Mr.
Be back
Brett.
under the desk. Feels good.
And BP, you'll be in Australia next week, so we could probably
No, week after, 4th.
Week after 4th. Okay. Right.
Yep.
Oh, I might not be able to do next week. Anyway, we'll work it out.
Your 5th child coming in. Oh, dear. All right.
Righto. See you later.
All right. See you later, everyone. Thanks for listening.
Yeah,
Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you send us a note on cheers@barkarati.com and you can go on the running to win Listener of the Month. Thanks to our mates in Bicobu. And, of course, if you want to load up with the Radix Nutrition, excuse me, use the discount code BARKARATI and get a discount on us.
Rock on.
When are you going to release this song, BP?
Oh, one day.
Should release it.
I should. Mate, I had $1 for how many times it was listened to on Bar Karate. Us three will be going awesome.